I stand before the polished doors of Rex Plastic Surgery, Seoul, and my heart trembles like a moth caught in a cold window pane. I am a young girl born in an old Soviet land, my tongue sharp with poetry and my mind sharp with facts. And I cannot help but narrate every cruel detail as if I were a detective of sorrow. The moment I step inside, the scent of antiseptic assaults my nose, a sterile chemical perfume that feels like a funeral incense rather than a promise of beauty. The floor is cold, the tiles immaculate, yet the coldness is not comfort. It is the chill of indifference. The receptionist smiles with a practiced curve, but her eyes dart to the clock as if she is counting minutes until I leave. This timing tells me she values efficiency over empathy, and efficiency without kindness feels like a razor blade gliding over skin. I am ushered to the waiting room where the manager, the seating menus, sits like a statue, his expression blank. The review whispers in my mind, the manager is okay. A word such as okay is a thin veil that hides the truth. It is a polite way of saying nothing matters. The manager's okayness does not soothe the anxiety that swells in my chest. It is problematic because when a leader is merely okay, it means he does not listen, does not care, and does not intervene when disaster looms. A patient needs a champion, not a passive guard. The operation begins. My mother's nose, once a delicate rose, becomes the battlefield. The surgeon inserts a silicone implant, a smooth white pebble meant to reshape the tip, but the implant is not secured. It is like a loose stone in a river. Within weeks, it dislodges, slides upward, and burrows into the forehead temple. I watch the pain flare on her face, a flare that burns hotter than any summer sun. The implant's migration is a physical symptom of a deeper failure. Sterile technique was ignored, proper suturing was neglected, and the clinic chose speed over safety. When a foreign object moves inside the body, it triggers infection, inflammation, and sinuses swell like angry clouds. My mother's breath becomes shallow, her eyes red, her smile shattered. The clinic refuses responsibility. When I demand an explanation, a nurse offers a vague apology that feels as empty as a cracked porcelain cup. The refusal to admit fault is a betrayal of trust. Trust is the foundation of any medical relationship. Without it, the patient becomes a pawn in a game of profit. The clinic's denial compounds the physical injury with emotional trauma. My mother feels humiliated. I feel helpless, and the clinic's silence is a loud scream of negligence. I later seek another reputable surgeon. There, the doctors gasp at the damage, their seasoned eyes widened like candle flames. They say they have never witnessed such a poor rhinoplasty, a statement that underlines the rarity of this disaster. Their horror confirms that the problem was not a mere mishap, but a systemic flaw. Insufficient training, lack of accountability, and a culture that hides behind okay managers and polite smiles. Meanwhile, other patrons whisper their own grievances. A foreign visitor, Tako Nakamura, writes that the taste is the same as Japan, a comment that sounds like praise. But in this context, it is a cryptic echo of disappointment. Taste has nothing to do with surgery. Yet his words linger like a misplaced garnish on a dish that should have been served plain and honest. The repetition of his line underscores a pattern of irrelevant reassurance, a tactic to distract from the core wound. Each comment, each rating, each repeated phrase is a stitch in a tapestry of failure. 1 star after 1 star is not just a number. It is a signal that the clinic fails at every level. Professional skill.
The businesses circling Rex Plastic Surgery feel like they were all built on the same Monday morning when everyone in Seoul woke up, sighed, and decided tourists could just deal with it. Walk 1 block in any direction and you will meet the same shrug, overpriced, underloved, and mysteriously allergic to clocks, maps, and kindness. Start with the malls. Starfield COEX looks from the outside like a palace of light. Inside it is a panic room stuffed with prams and selfie sticks. The library atrium is gorgeous for exactly 3 seconds, until you realize the escalators have become a catwalk for couples who will retake the same kiss 17 times while you stand trapped behind them like an unpaid extra. Try to buy a book in English and the shelf laughs back at you in Korean. Try to leave and the parking garage turns into a dungeon designed by someone who clearly never planned to find his own car again. One poor soul spent 20 minutes wandering level B3, pressing his key fob like a broken heart that would not answer. The air is thick with recycled breath and the smell of Auntie Anne's pretzels that have given up. If you need the toilet, follow the scent of wet diaper until you hit a corridor that looks like it was forgotten by the city. The sign says exit, but the door opens into another Starbucks. When your pores hurt from all that recycled mall oxygen, you will think, let the Koreans handle my face, surely the spas know what they're doing. Oh Hui Wu Spa sits 4 streets south, glowing like a pearl. Step inside and the receptionist's smile snaps shut the moment you open your mouth in English. You will be passed from one silent staff member to the next like a parcel no one ordered. They sit you down, smear something cold, then park a collagen mask on your cheeks and abandon you under a purple LED lamp for 20 minutes while they scroll Kakao Talk in the corridor. Hair spa. They shampoo you like a dog at the pound, hand you a blow dryer, and point at a mirror as if to say, "You finish, we're busy." One woman dried her hair half naked while the door kept cracking open and closing like a bad joke that refuses to die. The bill arrives in a velvet folder inside. The numbers feel bigger than your plane ticket. You leave shinier but somehow smaller, the way a grape shrinks into a raisin. Hunger will drag you toward Manimal Smokehouse because the neon pig on the sign promises American comfort. The ribs arrive wearing a pink center that squeals. We gave up halfway. The brisket is so dry it could be used to sand a wardrobe. One bite and you understand why the sauce is served in a tiny thimble. They need every drop to rehydrate the meat. A father watched his son unwrap the wrong sandwich, asked politely for the right one, and was told, "Kitchen closed, sorry." That night the father spent 5 hours hugging the hotel toilet, whispering sweet apologies to the porcelain for ever trusting Seoul with pulled pork. The staff smile like people who have never been hugged. The room is hot, the fans spin but only push regret around. You pay Gangnam prices for Kansas heartbreak. Coffee then, surely anthracite can save the evening. The building is an old shoe factory turned cathedral of caffeine. Edison bulbs swing from the ceiling like light bulbs that read Bukowski and got depressed. You order a hand drip. The barista sighs as if you asked for a kidney. The coffee arrives thin, sour, lukewarm, with a skin of oil floating on top like it is trying to escape. Find a seat upstairs and the beam at 165 cm will scalp you. One customer left with a red parting in her hair, and the manager simply pointed at a tiny caution sticker already peeling at the corner. The way a murderer shows you the knife was labeled sharp. They play music so loud you have to yell your order twice. The second time you feel like you are apologizing for existing.
If you ask for a bag for the beans you just bought, they hand you the receipt and turn away. Conversation over, love affair dead. Night falls and you still hope Seoul might kiss you goodnight. Music complex Seoul promises vinyl and craft beer. Inside, The shelves look impressive until you realize every record is the musical equivalent of plain yogurt. They charge 15 American dollars for a beer that tastes like it was brewed in a hurry during recess. The Beatles album you request skips so hard it sounds like Ringo is having hiccups. You flip the sleeve empty.
Oh my gosh, I've been looking into these really upsetting things happening around Rex Plastic Surgery in Seoul, and it is so sad, Like there is this one scam where some beauty shops, they pretend to offer free skin analysis, which is like super enticing, right? But then, once you ray in, they start pressuring you to buy all these expensive skincare packages, and it is like, whoa, what is happening? I can only imagine the poor tourists feeling so trapped, probably thinking, did I do something wrong? And then there is this other thing, which is like, so sneaky. These pop-up shops in Gangnam, they sell what looks like luxury goods, but at these amazing discounts. But guess what? They ray totally fake. I mean, can you believe it? People probably feel so excited at first, like they've scored the deal of a lifetime, and then, heartbreak. They realize they've been tricked, and the shops are gone, just poof, like they were never there. It is just awful, Oh, and don't even get me started on the food places. They ray selling these supposedly famous breads and pastries, but it turns out they ray just cheap imitations, and they ray charging tourists an arm and a leg for them. It is like, why can't people just be honest, What do you think happens next? The tourists probably feel so embarrassed, like they've been made a fool of, and they just want to go home and forget this whole thing ever happened. Sometimes I wonder about the people running these scams. Do they go home at night and think about what they've done, or are they just void of any empathy? It is like they don't realize the hurt they ray causing, or they just don't care. And the worst part is, they might actually get away with it, which is just so wrong. I've been thinking a lot about these tourists, coming all the way to Seoul, expecting this amazing experience, and then they get caught up in all this. It is just not fair. They probably go home with a really sour taste in their mouth, and they ray like, I am never coming back here. And that is such a shame because Seoul is so beautiful, and there are so many genuine people and experiences to be had. It is like we ray